Welcome. In this video, we are going to cover the Formative platform, which is a Google platform that you can use for assessments, for assignments, for a full lesson, as we're going to see in this case. I took a former lesson that I'd used the previous year, and I was really into flipped lessons. And what really struck me with Formative was it allows me really to create a flipped lesson and just place it all in one platform. There's a lot of great resources, but most often it's hard to place everything in one solid area. So in this case, I'm going to show you just a rundown of the lesson from the teacher perspective and then from a student perspective and some of the perks from it. So in this case, I'm going to create it again. This is a with the mindset of it being asynchronous, a flip lesson for the students to walk through and learn on their own. So in the beginning, I have the instructions. This is all what I can create using the Formative platform. Start with the do now. And the great thing is that as I'm doing this, if we're doing this live, you can see, as you see up here, the view responses tab. If I had a classroom, which I don't in this case, you could see who has answered what questions. And it looks like, well, I had created my own and I did none of the work, but you could grade it in real time. You can show feedback. You can even give them delayed feedback. So it's not right away, but you're going to give it to them once they're completed with the assignment. In any case, we're going to start with the do now, right? When the students get into the lesson, a quick review of their old previous lesson, and then move on from there. From there, we're going to get to our second part, which is the lesson presentation. So not only can you create some questions, which is obviously great on this platform, another thing you can do is you can embed videos. And so I created a YouTube video on my own, and I was able to post this here, and you're able to also create questions in there. So in my case, I had a free response question, or two of them, where I wanted the students to kind of give me a little bit of an idea of where they're at. This is actually really similar to the platform Edpuzzle, which leads to the next piece. I was actually able to embed two Edpuzzles here as well. So when we go to an addition, we can have all kinds of content. So in my case, I did embed and I used an Edpuzzle video or two Edpuzzle videos that I created for this. And so there's so many options here. We have different question types, but we can also embed. And in a minute, I'm going to show the enhanced document one. So here, these are supplementary resources. These are pieces of the lesson that the students should know. But if they need to review it, they can go back to these Edpuzzles, and they're all connected in the one platform. So they're not moving to Edpuzzle. They're not clicking on a different link. Everything's staying on Formative. All right. From there, we're going to move to the guided class notes. As they were walking through the videos, they should be jotting down some important definitions and terms that they need to know. Now, this is really kind of elementary when it comes to the capabilities of Formative, but I did like this. This was a paper assignment that I created, but all you can do here is you can actually just upload it, and you could then create or enhance the document. So I can show up here if I do plus, you can go to enhanced document and you can add a picture, you can take a photo, or you can go from your Google Drive. And that's what I did in this case. I had this Google Drive assignment, Google Docs assignment, and I was able to create different areas where they can type in. In this case, they're doing free response, but really you can do whatever. You can have them write on it as a whiteboard. Another option you have is they can do graphing, which is an excellent thing for, especially as a math teacher. It's really hard to find platforms that don't allow or that do allow for great algebraic expressions or possibilities. In this case, I do have that. I have numeric options. Here I have different math types of questions. So being able to implement that is really crucial on an online platform. There are a lot of accessible platforms, right, that I can kind of copy this type of assignment down on. But Formative is great in that it really tailors to the math side of the technology. Not a lot of platforms tend to do that. Kind of staying in that vein, next step would be we're going to do some graphing. And this is great because it's attached to Desmos, which is another thing that you can embed, which is another great platform that many teachers use, especially in the high school age range or high school math range. So we can create, I'm going to ask them to create a system of equations with no solutions. And this is something, again, a a piece of technology that is very rarely used or very rarely implemented in most platforms is a um, math specific resource or tool. Okay, and then from here, we're just going to do basic table match grade questions. These are just some basic questions that I was asking, kind of some review questions of the lesson of what they've learned, um, and just adding questions here. And then finally, we have here our classwork, and this is where they're going to do what's called show their work. Now, there's something that some limitations for online resources or technologies is that they don't really um, require sometimes for you to show work. Like in this case, if I go back up here, they just need to click, and I don't know what they did or how they did it. But if we go down to lesson classwork, they are, and I request that they show their work, we're going to see their individual, what they wrote, what they drew, how they got their answers. And another great thing is that it also tracks if students copy and pasted. This is a huge thing, especially for me as a math teacher. A lot of students, unfortunately, go to your favorite websites, Mathway or Wolfram Math, a lot of different, or Math Papa. There's countless websites that they go to and show step by step their solutions to solving these questions. In our case here, Formative actually uses, it recognizes if a student has put in copy and paste, and it will tell you as the teacher that this was a copy and paste assignment, or this was created not from the user. All right. And then finally, we have some additional practice if the students would like to continue working on it. It's again a whiteboard where they can draw and they can create however they'd like. They can either type, they can draw, they can highlight, etc. All right, and we finally get to the exit ticket. Again, another basic type of question. Really nothing immensely challenging or difficult. It's just fill in the blank, but again, where you can just use different types of questions here. Finally, we get to a free response question. This is going to be a discussion question that we can answer and open up to all the students. Students will be able to write in and we'll be able to create a discussion from it using my view response tab. So again, one of the great things that I love about this platform was that just the different types of question types, as well as you can create these questions and then either set a standard to it, create a rubric, or in addition, you can set them in an item bank. So you can create your own item bank, or you can also go here. And if I look down at library, there are different item banks for the same types of questions. And if it's set to a standard, it's going to be much easier for you to be able to find the different questions that you'd like. So let's look as a student. This is what we're going to see if we preview. Of course, great thing is they can use it on the Chromebook. If they're at home, they can use it on a tablet or even a mobile device. In our school district, we don't necessarily encourage students to be using their personal phone devices, but if they're at home, it's not a problem. So they're just going to see it just as the way that I previewed it as a teacher. You're able to kind of see what you're required to do. And these are the different steps. And this is the student view. And of course, you can't just walk through it. It's going to tell you if a question is required. It's going to bring you back. So let me click through here and I'm going to click next. And I think because I had answered before, it doesn't give me that. But yeah, I have to give some answer in order for me to continue going through the questions. All right. So finally, why choose Formative? I would give you 3 great reasons. Reason number 1, it's all in one platform. Everything is under the Formative platform. Now, it doesn't mean that everything is created in Formative, because I used YouTube, I used Edpuzzle, and I used Google Docs to be able to create this one lesson, but it's only one place in which the students need to go to. You can create your code, you can have a link for them, and they join it in there. Number 2, is the access to math resources. Again, there are so many platforms that do not allow you to really create different math symbols. And especially when we get to higher level math, such as algebra, there are many symbols that we have to deal with. We have to deal with exponents. We have to deal with inequalities. We have to deal with roots. and such like that, and graphs. So being able to have a platform that allows us to do that is excellent. And then finally, my third reason for using this, and probably um, my personal favorite, is you're able to pace the students, and you're able to um, assess and view their specific progress. Okay, so if you have students here, what we can always do is we can create a different type. We can either create this as a teacher-led lesson where we're walking through it together, or it's a student-led lesson where the students have to do it individually. Regardless of the type of formative you use, you still have access here to the students' progress. Where are they at? How are they struggling? Have they put in the work? And where can I assist? And where can I give feedback? That is an excellent resource, especially in our technology age. And especially if we go back to something like hybrid or even virtual instruction, this is something that is extremely important to have student accountability. All right, so for those three reasons, I would say Formative is a great platform and is a big reason as to why I used it in this sample lesson. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.